Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hazmat Guys Nation Roundtable. This is a multimedia platform to bring hazmat response information and training tips from hazmat members from around the globe. I am Bobby Salvesen, and once again, I will be acting as host for tonight's show. I'm for the triumphant return, Jason Roger. I'm very happy to have him back. He came back from the dead. Once again, I will be acting as host for tonight's show. What is that? Just shush. You shush.
Don't drink and produce.
No. You know what the problem is? In order for me to...
Do I know what the problem is? Yes, you are the problem. Yes, I know what the problem
In order for me to watch the chat, I have to start the show on another screen. So I have two screens, and then the other one starts talking, and it's some dolt. That's me.
You're right. And it's about a half a second behind.
It is, and it's terrible.
It's like talking. Listen, it's like making the phone call to Phil in California, and you hear yourself, the echo, and you're like, look, I can't do this. I've got to go.
Yeah, I got to go. I'm sorry.
I got to go. My wife's calling.
I'm going to give two quick disclaimers because right off the bat, I do have a cough. I don't know why, but I have an allergy for something that's happening. And if I cough, I'm going to try to keep it as under control as I possibly can. And the second thing is I look a little bit puffy. I am preparing for my fat off. We are in the firehouse. We are each putting in $100. So I am bulking up so I can officially win.
Right. So it's a voice for radio is what you're saying.
Yes.
But this is a podcast. Everybody downloads the podcast. I don't know that they're watching us right now, like 3 people on Earth. But, you know, hey, I how bulky are you? I think you look great.
Wait, hold on.
I mean that turkey neck of yours is looking swell. Yes.
Look, hold on. It'll swing.
You look like Stevie Wonder. Yeah, that's it. That's it. The headphones and everything.
Oh, I shouldn't do that. It's not nice.
No, you're terrible. We're bad people.
I'm trying to get up to 210, which is very difficult for me, but I am enjoying eating carbohydrates, which I never do, which is amazing. I usually keep under like 10 grams a day, and it is wreaking havoc with my body. I am swelling up everywhere. I can't even wear pants. It's fantastic. So I go to work and I just wear flip-flops, which to the boss's chagrin. So yeah, it's good times. Good times.
Well, good. So good Thanksgiving, good Christmas. It's
yes.
We're just after Christmas, waiting on 2017. In my personal opinion, 2016 cannot get over fast enough. It has been a dump of a year for me.
Yes.
But you know, hey, you know, this is our 52nd week. Is that right? Yeah.
They say it's 1 year. I don't know what the hell we did in 1 year. I mean, I don't know
if we've gone fast.
It's gone terribly fast, and we are constantly trying to reinvent this show. You know, we get bored with certain segments and we just dismiss them. I have some sweatpants. That's what I'm wearing right now. Thanks for the fat joke, Brian. Thanks. I'm a little sensitive right now. But we're trying out a new thing tonight, which I'm kind of excited for. Jason's brainchild. That's why he has that whiteboard behind him. And he's come up with a great idea. And I hope this one works because this could be very funny.
It's a play on Hollywood squares, right? So the millennials that are watching us right now are not going to understand what that means. But as we grew up watching these game shows on Thursdays and Friday nights, and still do if you watch like Nick at Night and stuff, we're gonna try something. We're gonna try to do like a hazmat squares kind of stump the genius that is Bobby Salvesen and Bob Kosh and whoever shows up for this tonight.
I don't know what he's talking about. You know what? I'm very excited. I'm going to be Jim J. Bullock. That's what I'm Jim J. Bullock, or that other guy that was he had the mop on his head. What the hell was his name? Well, Mel Brooks. He was Mel. No, it wasn't Mel Brooks. What was it? Mel.
I want to be the Love Connection guy. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
That's awesome. So far, nothing about hazardous materials thus far in this show. So, do you want to get into one?
Yeah, let's go to the news, Bobby.
All right, I'm going to start with story number 2 because I have a little something to throw in on this one.
Okay.
Madison Heights, Michigan. This is coming from WJBK, Madison Heights Plating Shop, a plating shop. All right. So I don't know if you guys have any of those in your first two areas, but Madison Heights Plating Shop has been ordered to shut down after the state deemed it a danger to the public. Electroplate Service is accused of repeatedly and willfully violating hazardous materials waste violations. Inspectors found thousands of containers with hazardous materials and said the containers were improperly stored, unlabeled, open, corroded, or in very poor condition. Chemicals and waste were stockpiled in extreme disorder, and the building was severely dilapidated. Chemical spills were also found throughout the facility. Wow, this guy could be knocking it dead with the business, I guess, which is located within 500 feet of a neighborhood and overlooks Interstate 696. Some of the materials are found to be highly corrosive, that can cause irreversible tissue damage to humans after just a single exposure. They had several chances to comply, but refused. And if they had a fire, this is a quote, if they had a fire and the facility looks like they could easily happen there and mix water with those chemicals, you would have a toxic cloud. Very interesting. So
that's BAD bad.
Yeah, that's no good. The reason why I wanted to bring that one up first is because when I was in the company across the floor from me in Squad 288, we had building inspection in the area, and we had an electroplating place first due. This place, I wouldn't want to walk across its roof. It was a wood-framed, large area, building that had cinder block walls, what we call a class 3. Which is an order of construction. It would be cinder block walls, masonry exterior walls, and then wood floors and roofs. And it was, excuse me, so eaten away by the fumes because they had multiple vats in line. So there was a gantry that ran the pieces down the line, and it would dunk it into A, B, C, and then it would wash A, B, C, wash. And so this place was neat. And I wouldn't want to go up on the roof on this place if this place was on fire. If this place was on fire, there would be a plume of colored smoke coming out that would be purple, green, or some type of candy stripe coming out of this place. Unbelievable. Yeah, Kevin Ryan, and already, Todd Brown.
Cyanides for sure.
Cyanides in the plating system, in aluminums, all types of stuff. That when they do chrome, there's chromium salts, there's mercury salts, I really didn't even look this up, but I remember this from when we were looking into this a while back. These things, some of them are, when heat and water are added to it, which is typical fire stuff, it creates an awful lot of bad stuff.
It's like the green smoke from the original Batman in the 50s.
Yes. Yes, indeed. But some of these are huge corrosives in one vat, and then some of them have aeration. At least the one that we were at had an aeration pool.
Oh, for the metal plating.
Yeah, where nothing floats. It wasn't big enough for a person to go into, but if you put something like, say, like a ship, or a toy boat, it would go right to the bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of these places have things like that, that would, because of the airs, there's nothing to push off of. Like, you have no buoyancy. So that would be another thing. Let's say you're on a roof and you fall through a roof, and you land in one of these pools that have an aeration setup. You would go right to the bottom of it. I don't care if you're Greg Louganis.
They did this on Mythbusters.
Yes. Yeah.
They did. Yeah, they did. They made like a 10 or 30,000 gallon. It was a huge. It was like a big glass of water that they put an aeration air pump in, and you couldn't swim in it.
You can't swim in it. And we actually just recently had a guy that fell into a sewage. It's very popular in sewage treatments because it allows them to reverse filter the water. So in the last stage before they put it back out into the waterway, they put one of these aeration things. So not only does it aerate the water, but it drops all the solids and particulates down to the bottom, which is easily cleared with a sweep.
Sure.
And then they just kind of slough it off the top. But Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, housekeeping, we've seen these poor housekeeping things in hazardous materials a lot. I particularly see them where I work a lot of times in high schools.
We've had a couple of instances like that where they go back into the lab and go, oh, hey, there's a vial of methyl ethyl something from 1943, and what do we do with it? So yeah, you see that occasionally. The other thing that, and I don't know about you guys, we seem to have a lot of, Vietnam era, World War II era, like munitions and just stuff, people find after Grandpa dies, and they find, everything like carboys and all kinds of just stuff. I mean, just people have stuff in their basements and mixtures. And you all right? You need a Ricola?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're-
Listening to the knowledge being thrown across my
but that such a jackwagon. So, but yeah, so that, I mean, I think that's something that you want to be proficient at. If you're using a ramen or you're using your FTIR, or trying to figure out what thing, because you can't always rely on the labels or
let's
mixtures.
let's just say that, because let's say you're getting called in. Let's say there's a working fire at a plating place. Let's say, like I just said, it's a wood roof, wood floor, cinder block walls, multiple vats of an unknown plating place, whether it's a chroming place, whether it's a anodizing of aluminum, whatever it might be. You're coming up as a hazardous materials guy, and you're going to go in there and meter. What are we going to bring that's different than we normally bring? I mean, is our PPE selection different? Really? No.
I think that giving me that scenario, my very first thing that I'm going to do is rely on research before we do any kind of entry
Pre-plan.
whatsoever. Pre-plan. I'm going to go to our Cameo system.
Yes.
A lot of people use that, and start looking at what do they report? What do they have that's in there? What floor plans and all that sort of stuff can be implemented into your Cameo system if you work with your emergency management and the LEPCs. I'm assuming you guys probably somebody works with them, your local emergency planning committees, but the tier 2 reports all get dumped into that. You could put your plans, pre-plans, everything from blueprints to PPE selections into those programs. We have started really putting a lot into it last year, and that's going to be the first place I'm going, because everything from NIOSH pages for even shippers, and who uses the chemical, what they use it for. I mean, we're dumping all of the intel that we could get into that. So I think in the scenario you're giving me, where there's let's using a like scenario that you just read the story that in Michigan, that's where I'm going. I'm going to research. I'm going to research first. Is interior attack going to be happening initially? I don't know, especially if there's some pre-plan. It might be hitting it hard from the yard as far as the fire department's concerned, until we can come up with what is the risk versus reward for an aggressive interior attack.
Yep.
That's my 2 cents from a stupid paramedic.
No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I see first due, second due, third due companies going in there and putting this fire out like it's any other fire. I hope to see that incident command all the way down to the firefighter is going to say, hey, listen, there's something that's a little weird about this thing. Maybe we should go on hazmat. Maybe we should look at this thing from a little bit different. And hopefully they're going to be, there's no way we're containing the runoff. I'm thinking about it from New York City. Okay, so if we have a problem in New York City, we throw 1,000 guys at it because it's cheaper than it's our cheapest resource is guys.
Sure.
Yeah, so we'll on our first alarm fire assignment, there's like 70 guys on it. 15 pieces of apparatus, 70 guys, bing, we're done. So there's no way we're going to contain all this runoff. What we are going to be able to do is that building inspection reports are going to be able to be garnished, and we do have a pretty decent site hazard site plans,
like a site safety plan.
Yeah, like a site safety plan that we're going to be able to call on. But even based upon that, I mean, like, how much of a defensive can you go? I mean, I think you can argue this thing. Oh, I'm going to be so defensive. I'm going to stay in bed. You know what I'm saying? Like eventually you got to put the thing out. You got to finish this thing up. You know. So I mean, like, I'm thinking about this. Okay, I pull up on this scene, and in my head, I'm fictionalizing this building on fire. They call me up there. I'm going to be in, bunker gear, SCBA, not on. We're going to be talking to the incident commander in a clean area. He's going to say, "Listen, guys, you got to go check out everything." We'll put our resource, which is your research or science guy, whatever you want to call him. He's going to be looking up the plans and chemicals and potentials and MSDSs if we can get our hands on them. But in all reality, nothing really changes for us. We're going to have the pH paper on the left and right arms. We're going to have our SCBA obviously on, which always makes the companies that are trying to be tough not wearing the SCBA in the smoke. When they see Hazmat wearing their SCBA, you really want to pause and say, why are they wearing it? Are they really sissies, or do they know something I don't? And
Sure.
I try to play that up. I really try to be like, oh my God, his face is not falling off, which is one of my favorite things to say.
Well, and that's a good point. I mean, there's a lot of talk today about, firefighter cancer and all that sort of thing and going on air. And you even talked about, it's not cool not to have the dirty gear, right?
Yeah.
We had a MC 406 turnover. It was over Thanksgiving, and the guys were going up in bunker gear, and our incident commander, Captain Greg Michael, says, "Hey, you're putting your air packs on," and the two entry guys were like, "Why?" And he says, "Because that's what we do." And they get up there, and they actually got within, I'm going to guess, 30 yards of this, and LEL starts going off. And it was a gasoline, it was an ethanol tank that was leaking, and the guys went on air and were like, "Oh my God," and it was like that light bulb moment. Like, we were taking this, hey, they're going to do we're going to pump this off, and it's not, whatever. But all of a sudden, if they didn't have on and were complacent, then, it could be bad. Catch a spark and say goodbye. So, I don't know. It's easy to do. It's absolutely easy to do, and it's done every day across America, I'm sure.
Well, I'm reading in the comments that Todd Brunton had 3 plating, and they had to do a lot of decon, where you basically overpack everybody's gear, and this is one of those things that goes back to a little bit of experience. When you go into a hazmat scene, I mean this with all sincerity, take everything out of your pockets before you even get off the rig. Your wallet, your money, your phone, everything. Because if you come out from a real deal run, a job, and they say, "Hey, listen, everything's going into a bag, you lost it all. It's garbage." Your money, your wedding ring, your wallet, all that stuff is going to be gone. So you have to take care of that stuff. And yeah, sometimes they've taken complete sets of gear from helmets to boots and completely dispose of it. In their mind as a department, it's the cost of doing business. And that's just the way it is.
Well, and I was just reading Todd Burton's comments about crystals of cyanide formed on the boots he was talking about. So absolutely. I mean, it's this crazy stuff.
Right. I mean, crystals of cyanide are not great.
Low exposure.
But I mean, do you have to go,
Todd.
Oh my God, it's hot. There's crystals of cyanide. No, I mean, like, but you know what? In the wrong combination with a little sweat, a little heat, a little heat, a little activity, they can be very bad. They can be very bad. I mean, you put them on the gear rack and they sit in there. They're not really going to off gas and all that stuff. But why have them in there in the first place? Sure. Why tempt the fates? Put them out. Especially if you're in a department that buys you the gear, which I can't believe there's a department out there anymore, anywhere, that doesn't buy all its members complete gear. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, it's out. They're out there.
Listen,
they're out there.
I don't. Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, my DePaul buys me the rubber boots, but I really like those leather pro boots. They're so cool. Well, sorry, man. I don't know. Bob Kosh. Sorry, Bob.
Hello.
Right in all the sentences.
See, if I had a drum set, I'd be playing the drum roll.
But now we can have the game show.
Yes, I'm super excited about this.
All right, can we start this game show? I want to do this game show. Can we do it?
Okay, yes, let's go right into it. Okay, so for those of you, this whole idea came from a conversation between Mike Monaco and I. There's not enough controversy. We all say, oh yeah, I'd wear this PPE and I'd use this meter and blah blah blah. And yeah, okay, whatever. So in an effort to make each other look stupid, we are going to try the Hazmat's Hollywood Squares parody. So, Kosh, here's what's going to happen. On this dry
I don't need
erase,
any help looking stupid, by the way,
you're going to love this. You're going to love this because you're either hero or zero with this whole game. So, yeah, right. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a tic-tac-toe board. I will read questions back and forth. Or you want to do back and forth, or you want to do like Jeopardy, like I've got the answer?
Oh,
let's chime in.
Jeopardy.
Okay, let's chime in with the answer.
I want to give him a chance. Let's go back and forth.
I'm the dumbest one in the room. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay.
By the way, welcome back, Jason, and I love your hat.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Go Yanks. So, okay, all right. You ready for this? All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just do the standard tic-tac-toe. I draw like a 5-year-old. Here we go. All right. So I'm bringing up the questions, and this is Hazmat Squares questionnaire, industrial rad history quiz. Okay. Now, if you want to play along later and try this quiz out and impress your friends or whatever, we're going to put this quiz up on Hazmat Nation probably in the next day or so. All right, so question number 1. And by the way, there are only 20 questions because otherwise this will go on and on and on. But let's start off. So chime in if you have the answer. What was the most significant accident in U.S. commercial nuclear power plant history?
Wait, I think I got a call.
That old gag. I was like, what's the time? Wait a second now.
Crickets.
I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go 3 Mile Island.
That is correct.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Look at that.
Yeah, 3 Mile Island. Okay. So now you so that makes you X's or O's. I don't care which. What are you?
I'm gonna do the which one's kisses? That's an X. I think I'll do X, and I will do bottom.
Okay. Bottom right here?
Yes.
Backwards. Okay. X's.
That's the one.
All right. All right. So that's the lead off. So this quiz, industrial rad history quiz, is all about 3 Mile Island. Okay. Which I've got to give some props to my wife. This actually started a conversation in the car over a road trip, and we got into an argument about where 3 Mile Island was at, and I was wrong. So this is I have done my homework here. All right, question number 2. What is the 3-letter moniker for 3 Mile Island reactor that failed? This is so easy, it's dumb.
Don't know.
If you ate it, I'll pay for it.
Don't know. Don't know.
Pay for the meal, God damn it.
You can't get off the Google, Salveson.
No, I have my hands in my lap. I'm going to say reactor 1. I don't know.
Okay, so
Reactor
Tosh, you got
2.
anything? Anything
Reactor
at all?
2.
Okay, you're
Reactor
close.
2. I have no idea.
The 3-letter moniker is TMI for 3 Mile Island.
That's
and
Jesus
the Kosh
Christ, you're right. That is so simple. It's stupid.
I know, right? TMI too. You were correct. It was reactor 2. I'm gonna give you a half on that. All right.
I totally pulled that out of my butt.
But hey, all right. Question 3. The incident was rated at a blank on the 7-point International Nuclear Event Scale. You know, like I give it a 3, but I can't dance to it.
7.
So how bad was it?
I'm gonna say 6.
I'm gonna go 7.
It was a 5.
Damn.
It was a 5.
You
All
know
right.
what? I didn't think it was that bad.
No, that was
I'm curious to see.
that's actually gonna be my original. That was gonna be my original guess was 5. Actually,
I'm curious to see what the reference is because, like, is what is it? Fukushima? Is that the one in Japan that's happening currently? That's got to be pretty bad. I mean, that's still happening. That's years later. Chernobyl's got to be up there in like the top.
Well, you go to International Nuclear Event Scale and you can find out. Question number 4. Moving on. We're pressing on. We're pressing on here at the Hazmat Guys Nation game show. A nightmare. Okay, this is true or false. A nightmare scenario at a nuclear power plant is known as the China syndrome.
true.
Kosh for the win. Yes, sir. That is true.
Come on, I only know that because I saw the movie.
Where would you like? Oh, okay. Where would you like to go on the board, sir?
I'll take 0, right in the center. Right in the center.
Indeed.
Circle gets the square.
Circle gets the square. All right. This is lame.
I think it's good. I like that.
This is funny shit.
Question 5. What is the allowable amount of radiation a person may be exposed to in 1 year?
25 REM.
That's
that's the
That's
max.
the number that you can send somebody. They have to volunteer to go rescue. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, but 10. I'm gonna go 10 REM.
We need the music, like the Jeopardy music.
Yeah, I can sing it.
Yeah.
5 REM.
we can't do that. We've been doing Wham all day long in remembrance. So,
I don't know.
I don't. Is it REM or is it? I think it might be
Per year? I already gave my answer. Though. I
The
can't.
allowable amount of radiation a person may be exposed to in 1 year.
I'm drawing a blank.
And this is repeating, right? So that every year of their career they can do this.
Yes.
I'm going to stand by it. I'm saying 10 REM.
Kosh, you got nothing?
I've got nothing.
It is 5 REMs.
God.
5.
God damn.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right, let's redeem ourselves. Number 6. What is the federal agency that oversees nuclear power plants in the United States?
The Nuclear Regulatory Commission, NRC.
Boom, man! Right, I mean, verbatim. All right, X, sir.
I think he just did a podcast on regulations.
What?
If I'm not mistaken.
What are you talking about? What are you top right.
Top right. Oh, we are in trouble. Troubled waters here.
Problems, bro.
The NRC defines 2 emergency planning zones around nuclear power plants. The first is a plume exposure pathway zone, which is a radius of blank, concentrated primarily with exposure to inhalation of airborne radioactive contaminant, and an ingestion pathway zone of about blank, concentrated primarily with ingestion of food and liquid contaminants by radioactivity. So 2 zones, and and you may answer both of these in either miles or kilometers.
I'm going to go with 10 miles. No, I'll go with 5 and 10.
5
for the
and
first
10.
number, 10.
I'm going to go with 10 and 20. I'm going to go with 10 and 20. Now, 10 would be the inhalation and 20 would be the food.
What are you saying again, Kosh?
I'm going to go with 5 for the first, 10 for the second.
Okay. The correct answer is for the exposure of inhalation is 10 miles. And the ingestion for food and liquid is 50 miles.
Wow.
Yes. Right?
Well, there was a whole big thing about that in Chernobyl, how there's towns around, what the hell is it? Pripyat? Perpsat. It's the town that's next door to Chernobyl, and there's wild boars that have been eating inside Chernobyl, and they're like radioactive, like super hot, and now wildlife in the area is super hot.
By the way, these guys are killing it on the comments because they're getting all these right.
Yeah, I'm trying not to look at it. I really am trying not to look at it.
I was totally cheating. I was looking at it. No, I'm just kidding.
The studio audience is much smarter than we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, question number 8. They're getting more difficult. In the electric power industry, megawatt electrical, or MWE, is electric power, while megawatt thermal, or thermal megawatt, refers to the thermal power produced. What is the abbreviation for thermal megawatt? There are 2 possible answers.
I'm going to go with the obvious. TMW. I have no idea.
Salvo?
I was going to go the same way. I really don't want to look at the screen because I know they're putting something up. Thermal megawatts. I'm going to go, I'm going to go.
Bob Lundgren agrees with you all. Thermal megawatts as TMW. I'm going to disallow that answer because the correct answer is MWT. You had it backwards.
Oh, dude,
or
I
MWTH.
I just said that. I just said MW.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, so you don't get it.
It's all right.
You've
been in the playback.
You've been in the playback. All right, on to question 9. The 3 Mile Island unit number 1 and number 2 were pressurized water reactors. The only difference was that unit 2 was slightly blank with a net generating capacity of 906 MWEs, or megawatt electricals.
Slightly blank. Slightly blank. I should throw my Jim J. Bullock thing in there. Slightly shorter. Okay.
Is that your final answer?
No. You like brownies more? I
don't know. I don't know. You're kicking my butt tonight, Jason. I don't know.
Off, man. Slightly larger.
Is that a guess?
I'm totally guessing. I have no idea.
I'm not giving you the win for a guess.
Is it a guess?
That's right. Yes, it is.
All right, that's not that. I'm going to go with it.
He won.
Earn the win. Let's go. One more question.
Okay. The China Syndrome, a movie about a nuclear disaster, which was released just 12 days after the incident, became a blockbuster hit. True or false?
True.
False. I got to go against what he says.
I'm going to read it one more time and pay attention to the words. The China Syndrome, a movie about a nuclear disaster, which was released just 12 days after the incident, became a blockbuster hit.
False.
I'm going to stick with false. I was the first guy with false.
False.
Just let you know.
The answer is false. You both get it correct. It's a tie.
Now give it to him. I didn't listen like I'm always being told by several people in my house.
It was actually released 12 days before the 3 Mile Island incident. 12 days before. I told you this is all about history. And I'm telling you, I got killed with this by my wife. So this is I would have completely bombed this myself if I didn't have to do the research.
See, we should we got to talk about this, but maybe we can have. I'm sure some of the listeners can come up with fantastic game show questions on this.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
3 Mile. Here's a good one. Let me go back down to here. 3 Mile Island is so named because it is located 3 miles downriver from what town in what state? I started to say something. I'm going to give it away.
That's
two-part question. Must get both parts right to get the answer for the square.
Shit.
What was
Connecticut, isn't it?
It was what state? And
3 Mile Island is so named because it is located 3 miles downriver from blank blank. City and state.
It's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Final answer?
Yeah, Pittsburgh. It's definitely in the Northeast. I know that.
Yeah.
I think Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I think you're right in Pennsylvania. I gave Connecticut because I'm an idiot.
I wanted to say Connecticut.
I think you're right on Pennsylvania, though.
Concord? Yeah, it's Concord.
Okay, final answer.
Philadelphia.
Kosh?
He picked Philly. I'll pick Pittsburgh.
Yeah, good move. That's why was my second guess.
Middletown, Pennsylvania. It is just downriver, 3 miles to Middletown, Pennsylvania. However, you guys were both right in the big cities. It is just a few more miles downriver from Harrisburg, which is the capital of Pennsylvania.
See?
Mm.
All right,
now,
one more question.
I'm going to be honest. That was the question. Where was 3 Mile Island at? And my wife saying, it's in Pennsylvania, which is where she's from. I should not have doubted her. And I argued to the nth that it was in New Jersey.
Dude, I could have swore it was in Connecticut.
I'm telling you, I didn't know that. So that's how this all came about. All right. Blah, blah. Let's find a review by the World Nuclear Association concluded that there were no deaths, injuries, or adverse health effects resulted from the accident. True or false?
True.
Damn it. I was going to say true, too. I'm going to say false, then.
The answer is true.
Oh, gosh.
There were no deaths, injuries, or adverse health effects that were reported.
Circle gets the square.
That's right. Circle gets the square.
Yeah, but he
Shall I make
needed
the
an X
assumption,
over there.
No, do it. Do it. Do it, man. Do it. All right. Go with it.
On January 22nd, now listen to this. On January 22nd, 2010, officials at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission announced that the electrical generator from the damaged 3 Mile Island Unit 2 reactor will be used in Sharon Harris Nuclear Power Plant in New Hill, North Carolina. True or false?
Bob picked false just because I picked true the last time and I have no clue.
False.
That is true. The generator was transported in 2 parts, weighing a combined 670 tons. It was refurbished and installed during a refueling outage.
That was a lot of facts.
Sharon Harris Nuclear Power Plant, November of 2010.
Crap. All right.
I know, right? It reuse, recycle.
Darko gets the square and he wins the game.
No, you both got it wrong.
What?
We both got it wrong.
Yeah, you both got it wrong.
All right, go. One more.
Hang on. I got 20 questions. We're at 17, 18. Oh, this is a good one.
Oh.
This is a 2-part question. The partial meltdown resulted in the release of blank gases and radioactive blank into the environment.
Bad and worse.
Good point, Bob. Good point.
Okay, so that's kind of true.
All right, say it again. Read it again, please.
The partial meltdown resulted in the release of blank gases and radioactive blank into the environment.
Radioactive gases and radioactive fallout.
Final answer?
That's what I'm going to go with. It's
Kosh?
I don't know.
All I had was fallout floating around in my little pea brain, so that's all I got.
So from the audience, we see alpha particles, water.
I can
steam,
go with
water,
alpha
beta.
and
Okay.
gamma.
Okay. All right.
Obviously,
Correct. I'm going to read the sentence with the answers. The partial meltdown resulted in the release of radioactive gases, you had that part correct, and radioactive iodine into the environment. Iodine 131 is what I found out is what was released. It has a half-life of 8 days. It's especially hazardous. Yes. How about that?
So, I mean, I could probably get a calculator to figure out when it's going to be gone, but
so radioactive half-life is
everything's going to have some type of water because, I mean, every nuclear place has to have water near it in order for it to operate.
Yes, because it cools the reactors.
Right. But alpha, beta, gamma, neutron, zeta, X-ray, all the other things. You're going to have everything coming out of this freaking thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Next question. The melting fuel rods at 3 Mile Island created a massive hydrogen bubble that threatened a massive explosion inside the containment dome, threatening a release of radioactive gas into the atmosphere. True or false?
I'm going to say true.
True.
That is true. Absolutely. That was the big question when Jimmy Carter came. Was the thing going to blow up?
Right. Remember it very vividly.
No, you don't.
We were eating peanuts together back in the day.
Back in the day.
Okay. Next question. Cleanup started in August 1979 and officially ended in December 1993 with a total cleanup cost of about $1 billion. True or false?
True.
79, 93. I'm going to go with false.
That is true. Gosh, from out of nowhere, Circle gets the square. Do we have a winner? Ah, boom.
I totally had no clue and just
sandbag me. He threw
sandbag.
Yeah. That is good stuff. Guys, if you have questions, listen, I don't care if you guys want to come on here. We can vet you guys for the audio. And listen, if you have a face for radio, we can put a little face piece on you or something like that, make you beautiful.
I was going to say the other thing is you could email us your questions. We'll give you credit for it. I do need to give some credit to Modern Marvels by the History Channel, EncyclopediaBritannica.com, and the TMI report of the NRC, Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and also Inviting Disaster by James Chillis, which is where my research all came from.
Tons of questions. Oh, I am so excited to do this now. This is going to be fun. I think this is great.
Pretty cool.
I had to get one of these dry erase boards on this fictional back thing I have.
Maybe you can make a fictional background.
Not even really
dry erase.
Not even here.
Go to Staples and just buy a chalkboard.
I don't know if I want to.
Good stuff.
That's really good stuff. I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much, Jason, for doing that. That was awesome. We had another, Hazmat story. We didn't even get into it tonight. Tonight was a little bit long, but I loved it, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Cool.
That's honest to God, I love the answers.
I loved it.
I'm going through these answers. Of course, I was reading from my screen here, but these guys are on. Yeah, I think we gotta figure out how to make the viewers involved, and then they can win stuff.
You know what the problem is, and this is this is the first time we've done this, guys, and you're watching this for the first shot, is that you guys at home are able to do the Google search and cheat. And if you're cheating yourself. I am absolutely not going to cheat. If I don't know it, then I'm not doing it. You know what would be fun? I was just thinking about this in the middle, Jason, is to have a potpourri where it's like, something that has nothing to do with hazardous materials.
Oh, yeah.
Category. What flavor is Manila folders?
Yeah.
They're like,
I love it.
Oh, I have no idea. So You know what? The next time, one of us is going to play host every time, and if somebody, one of the listeners wants to throw some questions in there and grab a topic and give us, what do you think? 20 questions?
20 questions was about right. And especially some of these were tough, and it was a lot of history. And
that's great, though.
Anything? I mean, listen, seriously, I got interested in it because I was so dead wrong on where even 3 Mile Island was at, and I thought, I need to kind of learn about this stuff. And I'm going to freely admit that radiation, radiology, all that's a weak point for me because we just don't deal with it. So I don't know enough about it, and I'm going to get into it.
Well, we're going to do this again next week. Maybe with a little bit different format. I have one that's a Jeopardy format that maybe we can do.
I love it.
Live. And we'll try this out. Usually we do this in a classroom and we use a like a buzzing type thing, but maybe we can try this next week. So let's try this game.
Cool.
What? I hear people saying, "Whoa."
No, I said cool.
Oh, cool. So that wraps up another episode of the Hazmat Guys Nation Roundtable. Please be sure to follow us on our Facebook page, Hazmat Nation and the Hazmat Guys. Let's go around the table. Bobby, where can we find you and what are you doing, you crazy man?
Just still working a couple weeks away from Fire Rescue East in Daytona Beach, Florida. So if anybody's going to be in the southeastern region of the U.S., come check out that hazmat show there. And then, FDIC in Baltimore, a few months after that. So still doing it. You can get me at hzmtlt@gmail.com or bobkosh@hadsem.com.
Jason, always here.
Yes, I am. I'm the guest member. You can reach me at jason@hazmatnation.com. And we are doing some big prep for FDIC coming up. It'll be here before you know it.
And I am the final guy. So I am Bobby from the Hazmat Guys podcast, where we break down these incredibly difficult hazardous materials topics down to what we like to know as the 5th grade level, where we try to make sure that you understand them and you can listen to them in the car or whatever you do when you're doing things. I don't want to get, you know what? It's sticky. Is that too much? No, all right. I wouldn't get it. So we are recording for our last episode this year, just a total comedy show. And it is, wow. I don't want to give it away. Should I give it away? I should.
You've already talked about it.
I have. Acute toxic classroom syndrome. It's when the instructor sucks and you have to endure his class. And this happens all too often in the hazmat world. We are put into these terribly, terribly arduous seats and, you got to endure it. But we are going to give you the tools to prepare yourselves for it. And it is going to be just, it's nonsensical. I will tell you that right off the bat. It is nothing to do with hazardous materials. It is nonsensical. But when we come back from New Year's, we will have fantastic content. We start out with Greg Knoll, who is the chairman of 472. We got a great interview with that guy. And we get into a couple of other things I am working on. Well, you know what? Actually, I'm kind of glad you guys are here. I am starting an episode on bonding, chemical bonding, ionic, resonant, covalent, etc. My thing, me and Mike have been going back and forth. Now, I'm more of the chemistry guy, and he's more of the biological guy. I think it's important. He thinks it's important. I don't think it's important because I think it's who the hell cares? When I go downrange, when I have the meters, I don't really care if it's ionic, resonant. I don't care if there's a double, triple, quadruple bond. I don't give a shit what the hell's going on down the range. I care about what my meters are reading and what not. Now, he says that it does matter for the research science guy because when he reads the books, he has a further understanding.
Wait, I agree with Mike.
Really?
I do, and I'll tell you why. I think this is my thought.
All right.
Let's say you're dealing with a flammable gas,
mm-hmm.
and it's single bond.
Okay.
Same situation, same LEL, 10%, triple bond gas.
Totally different. Yeah, totally different game.
Boom, dude! The explosion, the shockwave, the whole situation is going to be much worse.
One of the I apologize to the listeners. I really don't like to throw these things out there, but these are the thought process that go into building one of our episodes. When I am sitting down to build this episode, and this is going to be 10 hours of research for me, because I want to break it down to that basic level. But do I need to get down to the minutia where I get into atomic radii or ionic radii, where it makes sense? Like, Pluto, who is very, very far away from the sun, is easily flicked off. But something close like us is going to be hard to flick off. So the things that are closer are harder to flick off. And what does that really mean to us? So I understand it. I understand that we need it. But do I want to get that hardcore, fancy pantsy, sciencey on our people? But again, we're about a year in, and some people are into this stuff. And if you know what Mike says, if you're not into it, just skip the episode.
Todd Burton brings up a really good point. It's still flammable, but very reactive. And how can you tell without a gas IR? I agree. It's still your.
What are you talking about? What are we talking about?
Well, I think he's talking about, does it matter if it's a triple bond? Does it matter if it's a single bond?
Yeah. We're talking about,
but I think
general terms though.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, this is just me. I'm just shooting from the hip here. I don't know that I need to know as much as what you're describing. However, I definitely need to know what it means when somebody says it's a triple bond gas.
I'm saying that, single, double, triple, nice to know. What's more important is the ides, eights, ites. That's important
right.
too. Yeah. So the resource guy goes and looks and goes, oh, look, it's now off the top of my head, it's calcium carbonate. Oh, well, that means blah, blah, blah. Is that really important? And yeah, if you go to the National Fire Academy and you go and take chemistry for hazardous materials, which I recommend everybody going to take. If you haven't taken it, I don't care what your level of expertise is. If you haven't taken that, please, you have to go take this class. It is no kidding. It is very hard. But if you walk out of this class, you're the bomb. I mean, people on the National Fire Academy go, oh, look at those nerds. Look, that's the nerds in the chemistry class. Yeah, wear that with pride, because nobody in those other classes can take care of what you got to take care of. But anyway, that's what they teach you. It is important. So, but do you, as the end user, do you downrange? There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are doing this on a daily basis, that are going downrange, not knowing about in-depth bonding, and they're doing it. Does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, does it really matter?
I don't know.
That's why that's the nitpicking I'm doing.
Until next time.
Yeah, we'll have to go into that. All right, guys. Anywho, that was really a long time. Please be sure to catch next week's show every Tuesday at 21:15 hours Eastern Standard Time on YouTube Live. We will be producing a live podcast version of this, and you can find this on the iTunes at the Hazmat Guys Nation. Also, this will be immediately available, this video, on our YouTube channel at THMGnation@gmail.com. Thank you very much for stopping by and listening for us, all 1,620 of you. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next week.
Be safe. Happy New Year.